Let me tell you about what God's doing. God's always doing something. God's always working. And work always works. It's working on you. It's working for you. It's working in you. It's working against you. It's working with you. But all work works. And Proverbs, or not Proverbs, but Solomon, I can't remember if he tells us in Proverbs or Solomon, Song of Solomon, or Ecclesiastes, but it was Solomon, all labor is profitable. All labor is profitable. So we want the thing that God has called us to automatically happen. We want to sow today and reap tomorrow. Well, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Man, I wish it did. I mean, I say I wish I did. But so many people want to quit after 2 days. Quit after 2 months. Quit after 2 years. I want to quit. I nearly want to quit every day. Overall, the fight for me has been 9 years. When I, to some degree, finally pulled my head out my butt. God had to use devastation in my life to get me to do so. And then 4 years ago, 5 years ago, even more so. 2 years ago, even more so. The last 4 months, even more so. The last 2 weeks, even more so. Imagine that God is squeezing you as a lemon, and not just a lemon. Imagine yourself as a bunch of lemons. And he's squeezing. There's a lot of benefit to lemons and to lemon juice. But we're making the analogy for lemonade. That refreshing, all-American drink we call lemonade. And so, if lemonade is the end goal, you're not going to get enough to drink out of one lemon. So imagine God is squeezing that lemon, that first lemon of you, into a cup. And he's squeezing the second and the third and the fourth. And it might be the 15th or 20th or 30th lemon that he has squeezed all of that nasty, bitter stuff out. But he's going to turn it into something sweet. And he has finally made enough to have a good, drinkable glass. And just before he's ready to launch you into the marketplace, launch you into public view, bless your ministry, bless your work, bless your business, bless your family, put you in abundance, whatever it looks like for you, fulfill that dream, he's going to add some sugar to it. And he's going to offer you to the marketplace. He's going to offer you up to the world to be what he wants you to be. See, he's called you, and his calling and his gifting is without repentance. And so if he's put something in you, you can rest assured, you need to rest assured that he's going to do it. But he's going to do it on his time, in his timetable. He's not worried about you understanding. He's not going to give you a Google invite so you can see his calendar. He's not showing you that. You have to trust him that he's doing the work, and you just have to do the work he's called you to do. Because he's already got the work ready, but you're not ready. And this is just how God works. The sooner you just accept it, the sooner you embrace it, it becomes grace. If you resist it, it persists. And let him do it in his time, but you keep doing the work. Let him keep squeezing you and squeezing you and squeezing you, making you the man he needs you to be to do the work he's called you to do. So what does that look like for me this week? I like talking about my story. I don't like talking about my story. I'm not interested in promoting my story or selling my story. I just I'm just honest about my story because I want people to relate. There are people out there that have it worse than me. There are people out there that have it better than me, but they're still in a bad situation. Okay? So I'm 50 years old. My life does not resemble anything I ever hoped or dreamed it would be. I don't have money. I don't have a house. I don't have any real jobs or consistent jobs coming through. The stuff I'm trying to put on online isn't happening, but I'm working on it every day. And God has me in a position of life to where I've got this precious commodity of time. So let me just use it for His honor and glory and learn to rest in Him. Rest. See, for those of us who have this calling or this grinder, we're just simply hard workers. We want to go out there, we want to work, we want to produce, we want to collect a paycheck, we want to provide for family, and if there's nothing to do, we go stir crazy. So we have to learn to create things that keep us busy and productive, and to connect that to what He's called you to do, what your dreams and desires are, what comes easy, and start implementing those things, creating things around that content, creating content around those things. Okay? Painting, writing, working on bicycles, working on motorcycles, being a diesel mechanic, stuff, whatever it is that you love to do. Even if it's just reading. You say you love to read. You want to read stories. You can read stories. You can become a storyteller. There's just all kinds of things, but it's in you. But you got to bring that out. God put it in you. You got to acknowledge it and work on it. So what does that look like for me? Marketing money has never worked for me. In the 5 years, anytime I had a little bit of money to throw toward marketing, either a guy to get me a website going, or a guy to manage my SEO, or a guy to get Google ads going and to manage those ads and for me to pay for those ads. I've done that 2 or 3 times. 2 websites that I paid for. One I'm currently on that has given me no traction at all. I've been on this website and SEO for a year and a half. Nothing. Maybe 2 calls. I paid a guy a couple $1,000s to run me some YouTube commercials. I had a whole lot of hope in that. I saw his work. He told me, we do this, man. You got to be ready for some work, because most of the guys that get this stuff, they get more work than they can handle. None of it's working. None of it's working. I ain't got 1 call off that. That's been 4 months ago. So I think I finally just submitted to this because the businessman in me wants to keep grinding and hustling, and any little bit of money I get put toward this. But it's frustrating because I can only do so much with my own knowledge, my own free time and free content and learning and creating, and that whole marketing stuff. I want nothing to do with it. But I've been hustling and trying to learn it, pay some guys here and there when I could, but it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. And I'm not getting any traction. And you got guys saying, hey, you need to be so professional. You need your videos to look like this. You need your thumbnails to look like this. You need your channel to be specific. And you know what? I finally gave up on that 4 days ago. I said, Lord, I felt Him tell me, just let me be your marketer. Just let me be your marketer. You step into your calling. You read, you study, you prepare, you make sermons, you write chapters in your books, you make videos, you put the content out there, and just put it out there. You just be you. Just be you. And let me do your marketing. Let that be your brand. That's what I'm doing. And I've had a whole lot more freedom and rest the last 4 days than I've had in a long time. Just giving this stuff to God again. not worrying about all that detail, and it's all good. And at some point in time, it'll probably be something that's very proactive in my life. But right now, he's just got me resting and letting him be my marketer. And I don't have any real bills I got to pay right now. So I just need to use this time the best way that I can and just rest in him. So right now I just got done looking at a job, biggest job, if I get it, that I've ever done in any area of the business I do. It's a fairly big building, probably about 30,000 square feet of bird netting. I need to put up at a bus barn and an office patio and over air conditioning units to keep the pigeons and birds out. It'll be a big job, and I got a few months. It's not ready yet for me to study and look at it and put a bid together. May or may not happen, but God's in control. I'm not worried about it. I'd like to get the job, but I ain't worried about it. I've had 2 or 3 people call me this week for smaller jobs, and it's all fine because I ain't got any big bills to pay. So just listen, hard work doesn't have to be hard. If you're doing what he wants you to do, it may physically be hard work. It may mentally be hard work. But overall, there's an ease. There's a freedom. There's a peace. There's an ebb and a flow. If you just step into his calling, work on your calling, let him do your marketing, and as he leads you and directs you, do those things. And there's going to be times where you're confused, you don't know what to do. I don't have all the answers. I just know the last 4 days of me just doing it this way, that I just have a lot of peace. And, my story might be the story that confounds the world, because the Bible talks about he wants to use the foolish things to confound the wise. And if he uses this fool and puts me out to the marketplace, and part of the testimony is he didn't put any money toward marketing. He just did what I told him to do. And I made him into something, not for his honor and glory, but for my honor and glory, his honor and glory, to help those several thousand, probably, hopefully at least, men and others that I can help, because I just did it his way. So just step into your calling. Do what you know to do. Rest in him. Keep your eyes on him.